takes it. The early hole shot goes to Ryan Villapoto, the three-time and reigning champion. That last week's winner, Chad Reed on the 22 was right there and then got stuck. It looked like Freezy got around him on the 42.
Yeah, that's Freezy in second.
And then Dungey's back there in fourth on his Red Bull KTM.
And just behind Dungey is Will Hahn on that Geico Honda. We talked about the quad in the first rhythm section after the first turn.
Look at Will Hahn coming into the mix here on the 23. Boy, he's looking aggressive.
Will Hahn is the only rider that has jumped the quad here today that Jeremy and James Stewart were talking about. So we'll see if that carries that confidence here into some qualifying in this heat.
Well, they're going to have to get around Freezy if they want to transfer.
Looks like Freezy's blocking Dungey a little bit there. Will Hahn almost got around him, but...
All right, Dungey's through, and now Hahn is through. So they both have transfer spots. Now let's see how these guys settle amongst themselves. Meanwhile, Reed is setting sail after Villapoto. A couple of Kawasaki riders now going to fight over the top transfer spot out of heat number 2.
Villapoto to the left side, Reed to the right. They're about 2 bike lengths apart. Villapoto might have gained a tad bit.
5 championships and a ton of wins between these two.
Yeah, you need a calculator to get the number of wins.
Dungey has his hands full with Will Hahn.
How about Will Hahn here? He's been pretty fired up all day. He was our 9th fastest qualifier today with a 56.1. Dungey was 5th.
Right now, these guys need to get a hold of those Kawasaki's and try and learn a little something there. Dungey's kind of riding in a little space by himself. Will Hahn trying to catch a ride on him.
You'll catch a glimpse behind Hahn. In 5th now is number 10, Justin Brayton. And the Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha rider is a spot out of a transfer. There he is.
I have a feeling he is not going to accept the spot out of a transfer.
No.
This guy's pushing hard. He's riding good.
He is. He's a second behind Hahn right now as Hahn gets around Dungey. So Brayton closes up on the backside of the former champion Ryan Dungey. So Dungey, if he's not careful, might be 1 spot out of a transfer.
That would not be good for the confidence. Definitely not what you want to do. Although I've always argued that it's not a bad thing to have that semi-qualifier and a little extra track time. Dungey just doesn't have good flow. Just doesn't have good rhythm right now. He's making a lot of little mistakes.
Yeah, you see how far over the bars he was through there, Jeff? Jenny, Will Hahn, however, looks great running there in 3rd.
You're right, Ralph. I actually did talk to Will earlier today, and he told me that he worked extremely hard throughout the week. He made a lot of changes to his bike, and he also said that this is one of the places he's been looking forward to racing at. He's never raced in Oakland before.
Yeah, then he's going to be a challenge, just different vibe in the building here.
Well, I think sometimes you get to a new spot, and for him, he has no record, right? At Oakland. So tonight's just a fresh start. He's looking real good, and he hasn't been able to put this kind of success together in the heat race so far this year. So, man, he's looking great.
Here comes that section. He's the only rider that jumped the quad in here right there. Doesn't do it. Doesn't look like anybody's going to pull the trigger in these heat races.
Well, I think the trick to the rhythm section is getting off the top of that table, getting on the backside so he can go ahead and seat bounce or whatever he's got to do to get that quad. But right now, he's got to worry about Dungey and Brayton coming up behind him.
Yeah, Dungey has been struggling. He's been making, like I mentioned, a lot of little mistakes, and Brayton's on the gas.
And he's got the position. But he gets it right back. Dungey squared him up. But the fight is on now for that final transfer.
Well, and now what happens if you're riding Dungey, you're not worried about Hahn. You're worried about Brayton. You're kind of riding behind yourself. See him look over his shoulder right there.
And he knows he's there. He knows who it is. And he knows he's got to fight. Final lap. Dungey's got to hang on. Brayton's got to get aggressive. But he's going to come out on top.
Wow, that's a hard landing in there, huh? You opened it up in a little bit. Whoa!
Brayton with a bobble.
Woo, gets a little bump there.
Yeah, it looks so easy Jeremy. Like, just go ahead, hit the throttle, and jump that quad, and he would have been to the inside of Dutch, taking the position.
Yeah, I agree.
Easier
Looks
from
so
here.
easy from here.
Well, Dungey managed to keep it together here so far.
Does look easy over here. This guy just so methodical, just clicking it on. 3.5 seconds out in front of Chad Reed, and Villopoto just like a machine checks up another heat win. First one for the year, but so many for the career for Villopoto. And Dungey fights off Brayton.
Yeah, I think that fired up Dungey because he gapped him at the end of the race there.
So Brayton's going to have to fight through either the semi or the last chance qualifier, depending on what happens in that semi.
Villopoto looked great, guys. Fastest lap of 54.9.
Kawasaki factory crew there to help get Villopoto closed up.
Dungey had a 54.8 on his last lap.
He did.
Fastest lap of the heat. Watch right here. Now watch, Jeremy and Ralph and I, we were watching this super slow-mo earlier take, watching the rear wheel hits, how the front forks move back and forth. It's really odd.
Yeah, not just up and down, but in and out from the front of that fender to the rear of that fender.
Yeah, a lot of flex going on there, and you can really tell when the rear wheel hits, the front forks are just flexing around, and it's this shot is just amazing.
Yeah, great pictures there. And the whoop section's been pretty tough today. Even the 450s really haven't